Hey, welcome everybody to the Get Geek Network's movie trailer review show. Today it's gonna be me, Gabe, and I have with me today Alex, and he's gonna be right here, right next to my side. I don't know which side it's gonna be, but it's gonna be on one of my sides. And today we're gonna review four movie trailers. Say what's up, Alex.
People, we're here to talk in your ear. Get used to it, or else just don't watch our video.
Let me give you guys the rundown of the movie trailers that we're going to be reviewing today. We're going to be doing Avengers Endgame, and then right after that, we're going to be doing the Aladdin Disney movie, and then we're going to do Shazam, and we're going to end it with a Detective Pikachu. So let's start off right away. Let's get into Avengers Endgame, and
All right.
man, yeah, dude, I am super pumped for this.
Whew.
I watched this. I watched this trailer like the morning it came out. Like right in the morning as I woke up, I turned on my phone and it was basically every video that was up or every like link and alert that was on there, it was Avengers Endgame. And so I just like popped it on right away and started watching it, man. so
Oh yeah. For me, it kind of took a little bit, but I gotta say, it is everywhere. And if you haven't watched it yet, take the time to watch it. I know some
mhm.
people like to
Yes,
like
watch it.
not watch trailers because maybe sometimes they're giving something away. This doesn't give anything away. It just shows you what kind of badassery is about to ensue.
Oh,
Just
yep.
watch it.
Yeah, man. So like this trailer had like it had everything that I think like Disney and Marvel just knows how to do it. Like
Hmm.
uh, both. I mean, we're gonna be talking about Aladdin too, and this goes along with Aladdin as well. But the way the trailer started, it basically just played off nostalgia. Like, I mean, if you are a Marvel fan, like I am, I don't know how big of a Marvel fan you are, Alex.
Man, you already know. I mean, I'm a really big fan of it. I'm not like head over heels like most people, but
Yeah.
I really dig it because I'm more of a fan of the comic books.
Yeah,
But
I know that you're a fan of the comic books, but I didn't know if you were into the movies as much as I was. But I mean, I've been there since the get-go, like since the Incredible Hulk. I even watched the one directed by Ang Lee, which everyone kind of hates, but to me, I mean, it was still cool because at that time there wasn't that many comic book movies at that time. So that Ang Lee one was like Incredible Hulk. Yeah, it was dope, but
wait, that was the one with Lou Ferrigno?
no, 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 no.
Uh,
That's way you're going way too far back.
that's what I was thinking because I was
Yeah.
like, damn,
No,
I don't remember you watching those at all.
the Ang Lee one is the one where they had the Incredible Hulk dogs, where the dogs turn into monsters too.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
you remember that far back, but yeah, that was the Ang Lee one. But yeah, so I mean, I've been from the beginning. I've watched all of them from the beginning, and the way the trailer starts is they show you the first Iron Man, and it's basically Tony Stark, like talk like giving his message to Pepper Potts, and it's
Hmm.
just playing like the Iron Man 1 footage and everything like that, and then it goes into the Captain America flashbacks and everything. So it's just showing you like all the first movies that you should have seen with Thor and his dad and everything. And yeah, so you're just like, for a fan of Marvel, you're just like, oh my god, like yeah, take me back. And then it shoots into what's going on now, and which is dope. Like, I mean, there's a lot of speculation into it. Like I made my own theories just by watching these trailers because it's like you see the trailer the first time, you're like, oh man, this is gonna happen, or oh, I know like what this leads into this and stuff like that. It was dope.
Hmm.
Like, what was your first reactions when you first saw it?
So my first reaction was when I saw it, and they did start out with all that really old movie and all that, going back to pretty much, the first of the new MC universe movies.
Hmm.
Um, I was, because this is coming from somebody who is a frequent reader of those comic books, there was a
Right, right.
couple things that could go right, but knowing the MCU, they're probably not going to go anywhere near what the comic books were unless it's like a huge plot point. So I'm kind of taking that with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But watching it, it seems like I hear all this speculation of, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a spoiler alert or not, but there's a lot of people going around and speculating. Well, it should be because it's just a speculation and the movie's not out yet.
Yeah.
But if it is, don't come at me.
But I
um,
mean, like, it's still dope to like kind of predict, speculate, or just like like theorize some of the stuff that's going on. I mean, because like uh, the toy company, the toy companies has ruined a lot of like spoilers and stuff. They've done a lot of spoilers
oh, are you kidding me?
because they
That's
like the Japan. I forgot what it was. I want to say it was the Japanese toy line. But they put out. If you saw the end of the trailer, the Avengers were wearing all of their new suits, and that goes
yeah.
into
They
one of
already
my
put out.
yeah
Yeah, they already put those figures out on market,
hmm
and I saw those.
yeah, and I already have my theory that those suits are actually quantum realm suits because they're all gonna go into the quantum realm. Basically, that's where um, uh, Ant-Man was stuck in at the end of
Hmm.
his last movie. So I think they're gonna go back in there because they're probably gonna do some time traveling, and there's probably like a way to time travel up in there. But yeah, the Japanese toy line put out the toys wearing the suits like way too early, and like everyone's like, oh my god, like the new suits, these are the new suits, and so they kind of spoiled that already.
Hmm.
So I mean, but I mean,
Well,
still though, it's still pretty cool. Like I mean, even as spoiler as was, like it, any little thing kind of gets you excited, and if you get excited about it, the movie's gonna do well on at least the opening day.
oh yeah. Not to mention though, I did have some speculation based on um the suits themselves. I do think that they are something that have to do with quantum
Hmm.
or time traveling because I do know that there could have been another version and they could have gotten a little more into the whole. Well, this is coming from somebody who hasn't watched Captain Marvel yet, but they could have gone with the whole Marvel Corps thing where they all had the Avenger team, not the Avengers, but how Nick Fury came out with like the Avenger initiative and
Right?
stuff like that. But this has to do with probably something completely different. This looks like it's something that's not normal. So it has to do with something that has to be a big plot point. And also, I've seen a lot of people online talking about how this may possibly be the end of the MCU. Don't no.
No, that's
It's
that's
not.
ridiculous. Like how can they even say that? Especially since they just acquired back the X-Men and stuff. So
Hmm.
there's no such thing as the end of the MCU. I mean,
So if
I
they're
haven't even heard of that, but I heard that there was the rumor going around that everyone thought that they're gonna Marvel's gonna stop making comic books, but that's ridiculous too.
oh yeah, no, that's never gonna happen. So if
No.
you do see online somebody's talking about, oh, this is the end of the NCU, probably the reason for that is because they've only watched like 3 of the past 50 movies, and
Hmm.
also they just hear Endgame and they think everybody's gonna die just
No.
because they
Well,
got their feelings hurt from Infinity War.
I mean, maybe that's for like the people who don't know comic books or whatever, but I doubt it, dude. I mean, it's called Endgame because they gotta end the fight with Thanos. Basically, they gotta bring
Oh
back
yeah.
all their friends. But it was dope too, like because I mean, you get to see a lot of characters that wasn't in the first Infinity War movie. You get Hawkeye back, which think they're gonna be
Hmm.
AKing him as Ronin, because that's the way that they're going. They changed up his outfit,
Yeah.
and in the comic books, he does go out like on his own and ask Ronin because
Oh yeah.
he like something disastrous happens to him, and then he just goes like haywire and solo and
I think they
as
should have
Ronin
done a
becomes
little
an
more.
assassin. But
Yeah, I think they should have done a little more to give a little more backstory to his one off because he is a really good character. I don't really like how they portrayed him in the movie because he seems like one of those just side
yeah,
characters, but he's a really big part of the MCU,
yeah,
and I
but
just gotta say,
so is Scarlett Johansson, who Black
yeah,
Widow.
yeah,
But I mean, as you
yeah,
see, like they're gonna make a Black Widow solo movie. So I'm pretty sure like later in the future, if they want to, they could do a Hawkeye movie too. I would rather them
hmm,
go into a Ronin movie because that would be a little bit more you
yeah.
know exciting. Because I mean, I don't really care to see Hawkeye movie as a hero. I'd rather see him as like an anti-hero as Ronin. Because I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I kind of mean. Because like if
yeah.
you read the comic books, he's not the person they're portraying in the movies.
Because
He's
like
not that guy.
yeah, like a dope ass assassin would be, I think, like more exciting than just like a bright eyed, you know superhero Hawkeye.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Also, I
go
just
ahead.
gotta say real quick, have you seen that picture going around where it's Thanos snapping his finger and then half of his hair just vanishes?
No, I haven't. But yeah,
It's just so
that
crazy.
sounds funny. But and then so yeah, so you get to see a little bit more of Ronan in the trailer, and then he's training, like in the scene he's training his daughter, which I have a theory about that too, but I'll get into that in a little bit later. But
Hmm.
he so it kind of portrays that, the reason why he's gonna go crazy and become Ronin is because, like, with the snap, his daughter's probably gonna disappear. I'm pretty sure, like, she
Probably.
she probably turned to
Yeah.
dust. And then it shows Ant-Man walking around looking at posters. So I'm thinking like his daughter probably his daughter and his ex-wife probably vanished too, which also brings me that connects with the theory that I have with Ronin. And so let me get into this theory because I think this is pretty dope. Like, and I might be way off course, and this might be like wild speculation, but I feel like they've been giving us Easter eggs all this whole time. If you guys are comic fans, like we are comic fans, there is a run called the New Avengers, right? And
Hmm.
what the new Avengers are basically the younger, like, kids of the Avengers basically. And
Hmm.
if you watched every movie, okay, you have Black Panther's sister who could easily take over the part of Iron Man because she's that smart and she has the technology and stuff. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then you have Hawkeye's daughter, who in the movie trailer you can see, like, he's training her to be an archer. He's training her to be, a dead shot basically.
Hmm.
And then you have Ant Man's daughter as well, who in his last movie, like, showed that she wanted to, become her dad's sidekick.
Hmm.
So you right there, they already show you like three new Avengers. So, like, I'm like, to me in my head, then that just sparks up. Like, I'm thinking they're setting up Easter eggs for, like, the new Avengers. Like, this could be like way far in the future too. But I mean, like, you
It
never
could be
know.
they're always setting up the thing
Hmm.
to have in the future, just because the MCU universe is going to have all of these different movies that people are going to want.
Yep.
Which I do have to say, really really glad Deadpool's in this one. But there's so much more you could do, even if they came out with a movie just about Black Panther's sister. Don't get at me because I can't really remember her name right now.
I think it's Cherie.
I'd fucking
It's
oh
Cherie.
sure,
Yeah, yeah.
I would totally watch that. I totally would.
Yeah, I mean, because it's technology, and she was already, like, in the movie. People already was drawn to her because she was like the comic relief, and
Oh yeah.
she had all the tech, and, like, you know, I for me, if I watch a movie with, like, someone smart and doing tech and stuff like that, I don't know, I just like it. I mean, that's why I was kind of into Iron Man, because I mean that was like more tech. So it worked. But yeah, I feel like they're setting up the young Avengers. I think it's either Young Avengers or New Avengers. I want to say it's New Avengers though, but they were all the youngsters. And I also heard
Hmm.
through the grapevine that they were also, like, planning the new Miss Marvel, which is the one where she's Middle Eastern American. And
Yeah, so that one.
yeah, and so if they're already planning that, I mean, she's part of the new Avengers, so, like, boom,
Hmm.
like, they got it right there. uh so that would be dope. And then, so let's keep on going with the trailer though. So after the Ant-Man scene, it goes into, it's basically like a train, like a almost a training montage. Basically, like, everyone's, like, getting mad and fighting, and it shows, like, Captain America, like, in a fight scene. It looks like it's a fight scene because he's all, like, bloodied and dirty, and he's getting his shield ready, and you
Hmm.
see Ant-Man jump, like, off of, like, a pencil tip or something. And then you see Black Widow unloading a clip into, like, a target and stuff. So, like, yeah, it's pretty dope. And then the stinger is, and which I thought was a pretty good stinger, and I dug it because it's uh Thor. Thor basically face to face with Captain Marvel, and Thor
Mhm.
calls for his new axe, basically Stormbreaker, and then doesn't face Captain Marvel at all, and then Thor goes, "I like this one," which I thought was pretty
Mhm.
dope. Like, I mean, it sets up Captain Marvel for the Avengers movie, and like, ooh, like I mean, it shows like how tough she is and everything like that. So like, I dug it. It was dope. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I actually I dig that too. It was a really good point. Just even concerning that it was one inconsistency I had with Captain Marvel because in the movie when she just happens to get the power, she pretty much already has damaged memory. But in the comic books, it's she loses her memory somewhat whenever she enables her power. So that was kind of cool. But I admit it helped into playing into this movie because now she's just, there's no playing into it. There's
Mhm.
no remembering who she is. She's just already
Yeah.
badass.
Well, also because like
So that's
they
pretty
already
cool.
they kind of already changed her power set in her solo movie. So
Yeah.
like
So like
everything's a
like
little
I said
different, but it's
before,
dope though.
yeah, like I said before, they don't tend to like consistency,
Well,
but it's good for
more
the plot.
they're more consistent with than DC is. I mean, because the thing is like
D-
they're like
DC doesn't even matter when it comes to consistency.
the comics are one thing, the movies are different. And
Hmm.
if you just watch the movies, everything is pretty consistent in the movies. You know, it's just different from the comics, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind that. Okay, so let's get into the controversy of this trailer. Everyone's kind of up in arms. Well, not too many because I was excited and dope to see it, but um, they kind of spoil it at the one scene where they show them in their new suits walking towards wherever they're gonna go to. I'm thinking it's like the quantum realm entrance. I think that's where they're walking to. It could be a spaceship because they might be going to space because a lot of people think it's a space uniform. I'm thinking it's the quantum realm though. I'm thinking they're walking into a big quantum realm opening, but it shows two people because in the first trailer you have Gamora's sister. I forget her name. But and Tony Stark up in space, stuck in space basically. So we don't know if they're gonna make it back to Earth or not.
Hmm.
But in this new trailer, you see them in the line walking in the new suits, Tony Stark and Gamora's sister. So then
That's
it
all
kind of
she'll ever
yeah,
be. Gamora's sister.
and it kind of spoils it because then it's like it's telling you like, well, they survived space. They somehow got
Hmm.
saved and they got back to Earth. I mean, to me, I didn't really care because like I kind of already knew that. I mean, there's no way that they're gonna kill Iron Man off the get go. I mean,
Oh
it
no.
would give Marvel some big balls if they did, but I doubt it. Like, I don't think they would ever do that. So I kind of already knew that. So I wasn't too like it didn't bother me too much. But there's a lot of people on the web that's just like, oh my god, they spoiled it.
It
They spoiled it. What do you think about
it
that?
didn't it didn't phase me a little too much because I did notice that. But if you had seen some of the new posters that came out too,
Hmm.
I mean, Iron Man was front and center.
Yeah, so that's why like
So
they're not gonna kill him. Like he's
yeah.
of course he's gonna survive. It's not spoilery at all. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gonna be a part of the movie no matter what. When it came to else, I do admit that maybe they were trying to go for with the suits, just showing it because it'll give you that uncertainty of whether it's supposed to be either a space suit or a gravity suit or a quantum suit or even like a time suit. But
I'm calling it. It's a quantum suit. It's a
yeah,
quantum slash time suit. I mean, it's
yeah,
that's I think that's the only way they have to go with it. Like I mean, space. Like why would they go into space? Because then they would have to build,
there's nothing,
I mean,
there's nothing in space
actually, yeah,
right now.
like, well, they have Captain Marvel now, so Captain Marvel could basically take them anywhere, because that's basically
Hmm.
what, spoiler alert, that's what she did at the end of her movie. I won't say to who or for who, but yeah, so she did that. So
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
if you saw
she could do
it, if
that,
you saw it,
but I don't think that's the plan, because like
mhm,
they wouldn't really know where to go, like, because I mean
mhm.
Thanos is. I mean, they could go to where Thanos is, but you know, Thanos is at some planet that no one really knows where he is, really.
Yeah, he could. They could try to go before it all happened or try to stop him. Either way, they're probably not going to.
Hmm.
But even so, if you even know somewhat of the comic books, you knows that that's what she can do. But I mean, at the end of Infinity War, you kind of saw the Marvel corpse sign. So,
Wait, Marvel Core? I don't think you're thinking of the right thing. Are you thinking Nova Core?
oh no,
Because I don't. There is. I don't. I don't think there is a Marvel
yeah,
Core.
the star.
Yeah, that's the Nova.
Actually, there is.
That's the Nova
There
Core.
is a no. There is actually a Marvel core. I got some in the comic books. I didn't really get to read them yet, but apparently it's really big on Captain Marvel and what she does. It's probably just like a comic
Yeah,
name,
because they
so
didn't.
it's not too far into it. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm just
because
getting mixed up. But if you saw the sign when Nick Fury hit it at the end, you
oh no,
gotta tell. No,
that's Captain Marvel's logo. That's her. That's
yeah,
what's
that's
on her
what I was saying.
chest.
If you saw that, you kind of knew that they were going to bring her into this, and if you knew anything about her backstory, you could kind of see what possibilities they were going to go for this movie, because there are possibilities that she brings into the movie just by being there together. That's it.
Yeah.
But all in all, you're going to have to really see the trailer yourself, and if you do pick up on things, you pick up on things. If not, take other people's word for it. But all in all, if you got to watch the movie to see what's going on, you got to watch the movie. Because for all we know, it just made that their new costumes, but we're not really gonna know until it happens.
I mean, I'm taking this quantum realm.
I, yeah, I think you get your money on it,
there's
but like,
there's the
you never know.
there's just no reason for them to go to space basically. I mean, there's theories that Thanos, when he was torturing Gamora's sister, that he was just leaking out information telling Gamora's sister where he was going to go after he won the war. um but I mean, come on, I don't think Thanos would be that dumb, because I mean, he was so methodical in beating the Avengers and getting all the Infinity Stones and getting the Gauntlet, that there's no way that he would just like leak out, oh, you know, this is where I'm gonna go after I beat everybody. You know, I don't think so. But so like, there's no way of them knowing what planet he's gonna be in. But I think they're gonna try to go back into time to kind of get back to that fight and beat him. So I think that's probably why they're gonna go back into the quantum realm, and that's why they have the quantum suit.
Mhm.
That's
But
my whole theory. That's my whole speculation.
yeah,
But yeah, all in all, dude,
not.
dope trailer. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I think I watched the trailer like at least like 15 something times, like on the first day that it dropped, and I believe I watched it a couple more times every other day after that. So I've seen it a lot, and I've picked parts, and I did my own theories and speculations, but it was a good trailer. 10 out of 10, and I believe like it's already like breaking records on trailers and stuff like that, and there's already like speculation that the opening day is going to be breaking even more records and stuff like that.
Is this this is going to be the first MCU movie without Stan Lee, right?
I believe so, because they did a cameo with him on in Captain Marvel, which was a pretty like I want to say like heartfelt. I think that was probably one of the
Mhm.
most heartfelt things in that movie was
Oh
the
yeah.
Stanley cameo, because not just that he was cameoing in the movie, but um they did something with Kevin Smith. It,
Hmm.
Kevin Feige, the runner of Marvel, told Kevin Smith that he was gonna be using the Mallrats stuff in the cameo. And so in the cameo, you see him on the bus, and he's reading the line, and he's holding the script for Mallrats, and he's doing his line from Mallrats on there. And that was the last one, and that was like they said that when he filmed that cameo, he wasn't he wasn't well already. Like he was already kind of like losing his voice and stuff like that. So they had to call Kevin Smith and get voiceovers from the actual Mallrats movie to put into that scene. And then
Yeah.
When Kevin Smith saw that movie, like he basically just started bawling in the theaters and stuff like that. So that was pretty dope.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, if you're old enough, watch Mallrats. It's a really good movie, and plus it'll be kind of a shock seeing the difference in age between Stan Lee then and Stan Lee now, because everybody kind of knows Stan Lee for what he was now, but seeing him back then, he was still a huge part of the MC, just comic books in general. But yeah, Kevin Smith, that was such. It kind of even hit me because I watched all those movies too, and
Hmm.
it's been a huge history. But I'm actually kind of curious to see, you know,
I
well, first and foremost, rest in peace, Stanley. Nothing is going to ever be the same without you. But I want to see what they're going to do. And I heard rumors of they're going to start possibly
well,
throwing in Deadpool for just comic relief.
no, there's no way. They I mean, even though they already signed, it's already complete that Marvel has Fox and everything like that, but they they had already come out in statements saying there is nothing they have to do with the X-Men or anything like that with this movie. This movie is just gonna be Avengers only, and it's gonna end like basically end the phase with just the Avengers, and then anything to do with X-Men or Deadpool or anything like that's not gonna be for like another. Probably not even till next year because they have to like set everything first. They have to like
Yeah.
get writers, get scripts and everything like that, and plan everything out. So they have a whole planning they have to go through the whole planning phase first before they even say anything. They'll probably do an
Mhm.
announcement that they got everything and that they're gonna start doing stuff, but they're probably not gonna announce like what they're gonna do until they plan everything first. I mean that's basically why I like kind of admire Kevin Feige because he's like he's the runner. Like he knows how to basically hold things back and let people know things. He knows how to like tease things to make people feel excited for what's gonna come and stuff like that. So, but I'm excited, and
Mhm.
so
Definitely.
that's Avengers Endgame. Loved it. 10 out of 10 for me. What do you think?
I digged it. I can't really say too much on the movie itself on how it's gonna be, but from what I could see from the trailer, it didn't give too much away like most of the trailers they did.
Hmm.
But um, they held themselves back. I feel like if they did a little more of the spoiling, it would have ruined it. I'd say probably an 8 out of 10. It would have been a little better had they not thrown the suits in there, because if you were in the theaters and you saw a whole complete costume change for a certain thing, it would have just made that feeling a lot better.
Hmm. So you give it an 8 out
But
of
I
10?
digged it. I digged it. Yeah.
8 out of 10. Okay, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. Alex over here gives it an 8 out of 10. All right, so let's move on to our next trailer, which is the Aladdin trailer. Now, did you have you been able to watch the newest one? Did you see the newest one?
You're talking about they came out with the second one?
You haven't watched the full new trailer? Basically, it shows like it shows Will Smith as the genie in full action. We know now that he's not gonna be blue through the whole thing. He could change into a regular human. It shows it shows a little bit scene of Jafar. It shows
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Diago
I think
turn into a
I
big
saw that
bird.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, he turns into a big bird and chases them and everything like that. And they even like okay, so you saw that one, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so let's get into this. Now, as I was saying with the Avengers Endgame, Disney, because I mean Marvel and Disney are basically the same company. Disney knows
Hmm.
how to work off nostalgia, because to me, in this trailer, if they didn't throw in those old songs that we know and love from this movie, because I mean, I don't care what you guys think. Anytime I hear a whole new world, like I'll sing along. I know like most of all, I know most of all the lyrics to that song. So I'd be like, it's nostalgia. It's because it was back in the days when you were a kid. You're not really allowed to watch like any other movies, but like Disney movies and stuff. So like yeah, you watch Disney movies over and over, and you memorize these things. So they they did it right. They threw in all the old songs that you never ever gonna have a friend like me. A whole new world.
That one
Um,
was the one.
so like it's like it worked. It worked. Um, and the whole genie controversy. I don't really
It
care.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, to me it
Yeah.
does. Like everyone else is all like crazy about it, but to me it doesn't matter either because like I'll judge it when I see the whole thing, because the thing is the genie himself um is a character that you can't judge until you see him in full action doing everything. So Will Smith might be able to pull it off. Yeah, he's being himself, like as the genie. But if you look at Robin Williams when he did the genie, he was just himself too. Like when he didn't do a character. He played it like it was him. Because I remember like stories of I remember stories of them doing articles about Robin Williams doing the genie. He would just show up and he would just riff. Like it was just like
Hmm.
riffing. Like he didn't have a plan, he didn't have a script, he just riffed it, and that's what kind of made a lot of the people who were working with him at that time for that movie kind of like irritated to work with him or mad at him, because he wasn't going off a script. He would just like make up and riff everything, which so it was just Robin Williams being Robin Williams. So with Will Smith, if Will Smith is just being Will Smith, and I'm pretty sure Will Smith is playing along with Disney a little bit more than Robin Williams is, so he's probably going
Hmm.
on script, but as just himself, I think it's fine. And the
Plus,
whole,
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
give the guy give the guy a little credit. He's doing his own comedy, but also doing it in live action, which is I'm essentially considering just Prince the movie because I love seeing him do his thing. And if he can do his thing with Disney not holding him back too much, I think it'll be a really, really fresh addition to the movie. Because if you don't have that fresh little haha that's not all the same jokes that they made before,
Right, right.
Aladdin is kind of the how do I put this? It's kind of like every other Disney movie, but this is like it has that fresh start with Robin Williams that gave the movie so much more comedic value, and it made a lot more people than the normal people would have liked like it more. And I think this, if you just open up a little bit, if you just let it happen, you'll come to find that yeah, it may not be the same. Yeah, he's not going to be blue, but you're going to like it just the same.
Well, he's
It's
he,
going to
he
have its
he's
own little
he's
thing
blue. He's blue for
for like the
when he's a genie.
first,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is fine. I mean, like, although I would have to, I'm gonna agree with everyone else that on that first, or I think it was the second teaser trailer when he actually shows up and he's blue. It was kind of jarring because
Hmm.
he did look kind of weird. Like there's
Oh
that,
yeah.
there's the Blue Man Group meme out there, and there's the meme where the other guy did it first. I think it was off a show. I forgot what show it was. But he painted himself all blue. So
Oh, Development.
yeah, Arrested Development. Yeah, so like he painted himself blue, and I was like, yeah, that looks basically just like him. So who did it? Who did it better? Who did it first? Type deal. But yeah, that was kind of jarring. But seeing him in this new
Hmm.
trailer, in this latest trailer, it actually looked perfect because you saw him in like kind of more in movement. You could kind of tell there's a little bit CGI, but you know what? He's a genie. He's a magical being. It's okay to look a little bit CGI.
He is CGI.
Yeah, basically, because when you're a magical being, like you don't know what they're gonna look like.
Mm-mm.
It could look CGI, like a ghost could look CGI. You don't, who's seen a ghost in real life, and if you've seen a ghost in real life,
It's CGI.
CGI.
But that's the point that like even also in the original movie, you could see that Aladdin has interacted with the genie and he makes his skin normal. So it's not like
Hmm.
this new thing that's not normal
Yeah,
or that doesn't
exactly,
happen.
exactly.
It's happened in the normal movie.
Hmm. Now and then so I mean so those are the good points. Now I want to get into the points that I didn't really dig about the trailer. In the original cartoon, Jafar is like evil and
Oh my
slimy,
god.
and he's like, he's the type of character that you want to hate.
This
Cause
dude just looks like a normal ass
yeah,
guy.
cause he like the cartoon played it to like evil, like he's basically evil in drawing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this guy in this
I wanted
trailer,
more chin, more like menacing hair.
hmm
This guy looks like he is just
they could have
gonna
they could have gotten away
kick
with it by
ass.
just giving him a little bit more facial hair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like
Plus
he
for
just
me,
looked too
like
clean, like way too clean.
yeah, it looks like if you. I'm not trying to be all negative about it, but this dude's head
I
is
mean,
way too round. And as
dude,
soon as I saw that, I was like,
go negative because
no.
this is the negative part of of the trailer.
He has the minuscule amount of a beard,
Yeah,
barely a mustache. If you
barely a
took off his
mustache.
hat, he probably would have been bald. But make this guy look menacing. Get a guy who looks like he's been starving himself for 10 years and wants to kill everybody. That's why Jafar was evil. He had some really, really, really menacing
Yeah,
plans
deep
in the
deep
movie.
down rooted like hate for somebody or something.
Oh yeah, he
That's
has
what it was.
the deep hate of
Hmm.
somebody. This guy looks like you
What does he look like?
you kick sand on. I'm not trying to go there.
No, but okay, like, well, here's my take on it. Like, yeah, kind of all your points, and like, a bit too soft spoken because in the cartoon he had
Hmm.
more of like a slimy voice and stuff like that. And I don't mind that he's a little bit soft spoken. Um, and here's the only way that they could pull this off in the movie because I'm judging it now, but you never know. I might like it once I see the full movie, but the only way that they could pull it off is maybe he plays the other evil route where he's like friendly, soft spoken, but in the back of all of that, it's just evil intent. Because we've met people that are
Hmm.
kind of soft spoken and stuff, but and they're like, they they have evil intent. So
Hmm.
if
And that's
they
kind of
go
a
that way, then I'm fine with it.
oh yeah, that's also kind of a thing for Disney. So I'm hoping that they go that way because there will be this nice person, but then all of a sudden they get put into the darkness, and now they speak differently, they look differently, they act
Hmm.
differently. If they go that route, they better change this guy drastically
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
till then he just looks like Aladdin's fucking uncle.
yeah. Oh, because like in the cartoon, he's just straight up evil, and you know
Hmm.
that he's evil from get go. But I don't mind it if they do this one to where he starts off a friend and turns to evil. So okay, I mean so basically I'm just judging off the trailer though. That part I didn't like. If they do it better in the
Hmm.
movie, I'll change my mind then. Um, and then here's the other part that I didn't like, and this is the only small thing, and it's just being picky, really, is that Aladdin himself, like, he's supposed to be a poor, like, street person. Most of the scenes I see him in, I mean, I don't mind it if it's, later in the movie, he's more clean because he is supposed to be pretending to be a prince. But in the beginning parts, he's supposed to be dirty. But even in those beginning parts, he still looks a little bit too clean. Like you can't be on the streets and be clean like that. I don't know, but that's
Yeah,
just me.
because
That's just me being picky though.
the animated movie he starts out with that whole food stealing scene and
Mhm.
the apples,
Yeah.
and he's yeah
He's
he may be good at it, but he's not good enough to
yeah.
like keep
He's
himself
basically a
fed
street urchin.
24/7.
Yeah. He's a street
And
urchin.
in the original, it was just what pants and like a somewhat messed up red shirt or
Mhm.
something. This guy had a jacket on, had all that stuff. If you're really living like that,
Put
unless they go
just
off
put a
of like
little.
making it a
All they need to do is
yeah,
put a little dirt on his face.
throw in a little Slumdog Millionaire,
Yeah,
give it
exactly. No,
character.
exactly, dude. Exactly. A little bit too clean to to be living on the streets, basically.
Hmm.
But other than that, like I think yeah, Aladdin trailer kind of played it perfectly. Disney knows how to do it. Play off your nostalgia, give you those old school songs, make you feel it, and then show you the new footage and everything like that. And yeah, this trailer brings it back. I've got to say, when I
Hmm.
first saw the two teaser ones, I was just like, I don't know. I don't kind of like, not even wanting to see it. But after this trailer, yeah, it piqued my interest. Like I might go opening day, I
Hmm.
might spend that $15.
What we should do is a vlog of before and then after. But Even so, I just got to say, there's one thing I know a lot of people have an issue with. I feel like if you don't have it, it's kind of not really an Aladdin movie, but I can understand how it's not doable.
Well,
You got to get yourself some Gilbert Gottfried up in there.
oh, no, that's the other, well, not really the other part for me, but yeah, I totally forgot about that. Diago does talk, and
Hmm.
yeah, they haven't shown him talk, and I don't know if they even casted anybody as the voice of him. I didn't go deep in research that or not, but yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna make him talk. Maybe.
Well, because if they do, it was the thing that gave Jafar that he, he has that anger, but he, he was also the comic relief. But not to mention, he helped like annoy him to the part where he just was always angry. This guy looks like the Jafar in the movie, the live action movie, looks like he wouldn't deal with that. So I'm hoping that they make him talk, but I am gonna miss the whole Gilbert Gottfried because he still to this like for the past few years maybe has stopped, but the Aladdin TV shows that didn't have anybody doing the original voice, he was the only one of the original voices that stuck by all the way through the end.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna bring Gilbert Gottfried to the movie.
Are you kidding me? No,
It's
that would have been
I mean,
blown up by
it would
now.
have been cool, but I don't think so because I mean, all these remakes are all totally different.
Although,
And here's the only.
although
Go ahead.
if they do, I'm gonna be so happy if all of a sudden Gilbert Gottfried's voice comes out of that bird.
Mm,
Cry laughing.
but with that though, the trailer itself pretty good.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. I'm bringing it kind of low because I mean I'm trying to go with low expectations so that when I go see the movie, it'll be better than what I think it's gonna be. I mean, Disney hasn't disappointed me yet. With all these new remakes, these live action remakes, I mean, they've kind of blown me away with it. I mean, even Maleficent, which a lot of people didn't like and it had bad reviews and stuff like that. I dug that movie and every other movie that came out that's a live action remake of the cartoons. So this one will probably do the same thing. I'm pretty sure, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna put myself at low expectations so I don't get so I don't hate it when I go see it basically. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna hate it considering Disney hasn't failed me yet. So yep, I'm putting it at 7 out of 10.
See, and I just gotta say one thing real quick. That's the one thing I've heard about why people don't really like Maleficent, but I personally do because they don't understand the anger and the sadness that comes from her. Angelina Jolie played that part beautifully
Mm-hmm.
if you understood
Yeah.
how much like she has a reason for this hate. She's not just a bad person.
Yeah.
She has a reason. She was put into this hole by other people. She
Mm-hmm.
has this anger. She plays it beautifully while still trying to act like she has some dignity, but is breaking down.
Hmm.
So if you understand that, it'll make the movie that much better.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Aladdin, I love the trailer. It came off really well. I loved the comedic relief. They did a really good job trying to be able to pull in people who didn't really may not have taken the time to watch the original movies or like all these new kids that just want to see what the new Disney movie is about. But if you do know the Disney um, history of like Aladdin and all these other movies, you would have liked it. But I think they did a really good job by pulling in other people who probably wouldn't have watched the movie hearing, oh, it's an Aladdin remake. But
Hmm.
after seeing that, it probably would have broken them down a little bit. I'd probably give it. I hate sounding like I'm repetitive, but I'm gonna have to give this one an eight.
Really? Hmm.
8 out of 10.
Higher,
Yeah,
higher than
because
me. Okay. I dig
yeah,
it.
I digged it.
Right
Out
on.
of all the movies right now, the first ones I really want to see is after Endgame, is Aladdin and Yesterday. So
Mm.
it's up there on my first to see list. But that's
Okay.
just because I really liked the original Aladdin movie.
Alrighty. Well, okay. That sounds cool. Well,
Hmm.
let's hop on to our next one. This DC and WB presents Shazam.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, okay. Here's the thing, though. I've heard that people have already seen this movie, and the reviews are really good. Like, they're saying that it's hilarious, it's lighthearted, it's action packed, and it's like better than a lot of what DC has already done. But here's where I get skeptical though, because DC tends to do this thing where like, oh, we did a screening and everyone gave it a standing ovation, because they did that with Batman v Superman,
Hmm.
and then the movie came out to the public, and let's just say to me, being a comic
Trash.
book hero, a comic book fan,
You're a comic book hero.
being a comic book fan, Batman v Superman kind of like it felt like someone like took a knife to my heart and dragged it. It was bad. But that's a different subject for a different time. So,
Hmm.
so this movie, supposedly people have already seen it, and supposedly it had good reviews, and it's supposed to be really really good. But we're just gonna judge it off the trailer that we saw. Now the trailer that I saw, it's kind of cheesy, and not the kind of cheesy that kind of makes me like want to go see a movie, because there's cheesy where it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be hilarious, like I'm gonna go see it. But like cheesy to the point where it's
Hmm.
like, oh, kind of cringe cheesy. So I don't really know what to
It's
expect with it, because like it shows the beginning. He goes to the he's in foster home. He gets put into a new home because he gets into a lot of trouble, and then he goes to the cave, or he gets. It shows like montages of his new, I guess I don't know what you call it, like foster brother getting beat up, and does
Mhm.
he doesn't want to help, and it does the whole cliche, superhero, or loser getting beat up, and trying to help and not trying to help, or trying to figure out what he's supposed to do. And then he gets called into this cave where he meets the old Shazam, and they transfer powers and stuff like that. And then it goes through a montage of him um, basically learning his powers and showing his new foster brother that, oh, he turned into Shazam, and they're together figuring out the powers and stuff like that. And then on the newest one, it shows little bits of him fighting the villain, which is kind of weird, because the villain is the guy who plays not Captain Cold, but I forgot, he plays someone in the Flash TV show.
Mm. But yeah, so I'm just gonna say this. I kind of digged it, but coming from somebody who has read comics of Shazam really, really early on,
Hmm.
I thought it was okay, but I could see one thing that was really clear. By the end of the movie, they're not gonna give it too much action, but because he's still that kid. He is still that child, and he hasn't really learned to do any of these stuff. Because in the
Yeah.
trailer, you could see him having a fucking trouble trying to do anything, fighting the guy. He's just getting beat up, you know. But I'll give you this: I feel that they kind of, I'm not gonna say giant letters copyright, but dude, this is a new version kind of knockoff of version of Big
Well,
with Tom Hanks.
I
Like
believe,
that's I
but
feel like
no, but here's the
it's
thing. Here's the thing,
fine.
though. Shazam came, Shazam came out before Big, so you'd say Big is a
I
ripoff of
know, but
Shazam.
like I get that it's just like, but the movie aspect of it, they're not gonna spend like not the idea of it, but movie for movie, they're gonna spend most of the time having this comic relief of them trying to figure everything out. I don't think they're going to really get down to the seriousness of it because even at the beginning of the movie, yeah, it was kind of funny that this guy is trying to get him to say this word, but he doesn't understand and he's just joking around with him. But by the end of like the first few comics, he's serious. He understands that he has his power and in the comic books, you see him have these nightmares of seeing his foster family get beat up, his original family get like beat up by other people, his brother get beat up. He can't. He has his anger, but in the movie, it seems like he's just kind of lighthearted about everything. So I want to see how they do it. But if they don't have the seriousness that I'm looking for, they're not gonna really win me over with this movie.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because this is just a trailer, and it's supposed to play off the more lightheartedness. Because like if you watched most of all the DC movies, they're trying to be like dark and gritty and stuff like that, but that didn't really work. And you saw that some of the brighter scenes of Aquaman and Wonder Woman did a little bit better.
Hmm.
So they're trying to go a little bit that route. And Shazam is a little bit more of more of the funnier characters in DC because it is a little kid being a grown up superhero. The mind of Shazam is still the little kid. He just has the
But
powers
if
of
they're,
a grown up superhero. And he
but
basically has the
also if
power
they're
of a
going
god.
to, yeah. But if they're going to, they need to show some of that grittiness
Oh, I mean,
because it's gonna give them that like
they're gonna
the
have
feeling
to.
of
They're gonna have to
he's
because
getting over it.
they have the supervillain, which is like eats like he's not the villain's not playing around basically. So I don't
That's
think.
why I'm hoping it's just a little comedic value, but I'm still hoping that there's a seriousness that I'm looking for because all I've seen
Mm,
in the trailers is just kind of like,
well, I think you might get
ha ha,
I think you
funny.
might get a little disappointed then because like there's a lot of rumors that it's mostly comedic and you know but see that's the thing though, everyone said that it's good or supposedly or the the reviews, the early reviews and stuff. And which is another
Well,
thing too,
we'll
like for DC, they've done this thing where when they show a movie, they hold they basically don't allow the press to talk about it until the day that it comes out, and that's always a bad showing because that's like say they're unsure if it's good or not. This one, they've been allowing the press to talk about it, so it may be good. I don't know. It's mixed signals, but I mean, we're just judging it off of the trailer, and so let's not judge it off of anything else but the trailer. Um,
hmm
to me, I'm just reiterating myself, a bit cheesy. There is some funny parts in there that yeah did work and made me chuckle. Uh, some of the jokes were a bit cringy for me though, so it's like half and half. And I still don't know if I dig the bodysuit or not, but I'll let that go. I'll just wait to see what happens. I'm gonna go really, really low expectations on this one. I'm giving this trailer a 6 out of 10. What about you?
Damn, that makes me look like a dick. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. This is all opinions, because that's the thing about movies and movie trailers and stuff like that. It's it's your own opinion. It's it's everyone has a different opinion about it, and we're not gonna know how the movie is until we see it anyways. So the lower expectation it is, then whatever. We'll have to wait and see when the movie comes out. But yeah, so yeah, and that was Shazam. That's what we thought. Yeah, 4.5 for Alex and a 7 for me, or not 7. I gave it a 6. Yeah, I gave it a 6 for me. 6 out of 10 for me. 4.5 out of 10 from Alex over here. And then so let's go into our last one. Not superhero, not Disney. Out of left field, kind of video game based. And if this movie does well, I think it'll be kind of one of the first video game movies that does really well. And I think it will because it plays off nostalgia, which is the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie.
hmm hmm
And this is the
I already
reasoning.
have a Pikachu. I already have a Pikachu in the corner ready for this.
This is the reason why I think this movie is gonna do really well because Pikachu, or not Pikachu, Pokemon fans are fanatic fans. So
Hmm
you're gonna have the whole country, and it's not just America and not just Japan. Pokemon is
Whole world.
worldwide, and people who love Pokemon are everywhere. So when this movie comes out, it's gonna do gangbusters. And not just off the Pokemon name. I mean, I watched this trailer. I'm gonna say though, when I first saw the first trailer, it was okay, but I was still kind of super excited because they showed like the realistic type looking Pokemons, which is kind of cool
Hmm
because it's like I don't know if you've seen the stuff on the internet where they shows like some fan art of realistic Pokemons. It was kind of close to that,
Oh yeah,
which was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool. Like I dug those, and seeing it in the movie, I dug it too. And not just that, it's Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is really good in what he does, And he's just the voice of Pikachu. And then
Hmm.
on this newer trailer, at the end when I don't know if you got excited as I did, which
When he had
when it
powers.
no when Mewtwo busts out and shows up, I was like,
Hmm.
ooh,
I'll get into
dang.
that in a bit. I'll
But
get into
yeah,
that in a
like
bit.
there's really not much to say about the trailer itself because it just goes over the storyline or not. It just lets you know what the story's going to be about. They're basically
Hmm.
searching for if his father really died or where the main character's father went. So that's kind of the case, and the kid is the only one who knows that Pikachu could talk.
So I do agree that there's not really much to go over when it has to do with the movie because if you know the Pokemon and you understand what's going on, you pretty much know what the trailer's about and you can pretty much save it until the movie. If you look into the smaller things like um, the different Pokemon and the different reasons why they're there stuff, that may be something a little more. But if you really want to get into the whole history of the history, I kind of have a little thing that I'm hoping is happening. Because if you're like us, uh, you watched the other Pokemon movies. You know, you watched
Hmm.
pretty much them all, except for maybe the newer ones because now they're coming out with a movie every like couple weeks.
Yeah.
But the earlier ones, all the way up to like Celebi and all that stuff, were amazing. Latios and Latias was amazing. I'm hoping that when it comes down to it, with all these missing Pokemon and missing people, I'm hoping it's a tie back, not like a full tie back, but maybe just the idealistic tie back to the original movie where Mewtwo started to kidnap Pokemon to try to create the perfect form of their Pokemon and clone them. I'm hoping because um, if you
I don't
understood the original movies,
I don't know if that's gonna go that way. But
I
go
know, but
ahead.
I'm just thinking because why else would these Pokemon be randomly missing? Which is why I'm not really sure where it's going, because people are just randomly disappearing. So I'm hoping because that was the premise of the first movie, people's Pokemons would just randomly disappear, and they didn't know what happened to them. But um, it could have also a tie back to Team Rocket because Mewtwo was a creation of Giovanni, uh, the leader of Team Rocket. Either way, we got to see what's going on because if it's not that, I'm not really sure what the tie-in Mewtwo has. That's why when I saw Mewtwo, I was like, okay, this gives it a little more difference. At first, I was just like, this dude's dad was just murdered because there
Well,
wasn't like a reason
you don't know
why
if he's
things
murdered. That's why
came back.
Pikachu shows up.
That's the point. So
Yeah,
that's
you're gonna
why
go
I'm
find out if
hoping
if
that
he's still alive and stuff.
I'm
But
hoping that Mewtwo has a tie into the story and isn't just a
well,
holy shit, we got to stay away from
wasn't
that.
there a story where the reason why a lot of the Pokemons were missing was that the scientists were taking all the Pokemons and using their DNA to build a perfect Pokemon, and the perfect Pokemon turned out to be Mewtwo, and that could be the way they're going with it, and that's why Mewtwo shows up.
Could be. Also, if they do go that way, then I'm a pretty. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But if
Yeah,
you watch the original movie, that means Mewtwo speaks.
cause also that's why Mew was made, cause Mew was made to stop Mewtwo, basically.
Hmm. He's essentially the goodness form
Yeah, of
of all the bad that was put into Mewtwo. But
exactly.
yeah, you do have to understand the history behind it, or else you're not going to understand why Mewtwo is so menacing. He's not just a really strong Pokemon. He is the genetic modification of everything bad and strong with a Pokemon. And just like I said before, I want to hear this dude talk.
I don't. Well, I don't know if there was any
He
rumor.
doesn't really
I
talk.
don't know if there's any.
He's just like
Yeah, I don't know if there's any rumors of that happening because I believe the only Pokemon that's able to talk or is Pikachu, and the rest of them just makes their, you know, noise and sounds. But yeah,
Imagine if, just imagine if like uh, Ryan Chu and this dude were just like up against Mewtwo, and then all of a sudden he started Pikachu, and then he could understand him too. That would be kind of like the only nod I'd be like, I'd be okay with that,
mm,
because
maybe.
he understands and he's not really sure why he understands Pikachu, but then that'll give it a little more understanding, because it was a surprise to me that Mewtwo was even in this movie altogether.
Yeah, and
So,
that's what made the trailer kind of exciting. So,
hmm
yeah, let's try to finish this one off then, I guess, because there was not
yeah,
much to it. I'm gonna give this because I also tend to want to go into this one with low expectations, even though every other Pokemon movie has done good. But I mean, you know, storyline wise, I don't really know. Some of them were kind of like whatever's to me. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
mm, I digged it personally. I understand that there's a little bit of skepticism coming into the movie from a lot of people. Not sure how to take it. People are excited for it, but it might be bad. It might be good, and people are having low expectations, so we're not really sure. But what I'm gonna say is, I feel that if it wasn't as good as they think it's gonna be, then they probably wouldn't have even come out with it at all. I think it's gonna be pretty kick-ass. So I'm going in with a little higher of an expectation, but this is just because, just also giving a new story, but they're giving Pokemon fans kind of what they want from the other movies that they never got,
Hmm.
which is also like a little more realism and a little more wishing that they could live in that world themselves. I'm probably gonna have to go off on a limb and give this a 9.
Wow, pretty high.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. All right. Well, there you go, guys. You got a 7 out of 10 out of me and a 9 out of 10 from Alex. And that right there, then that does it all for us. Those are all the trailers that we've
Mhm.
seen for all the new movies coming out. Um, if you dug the show, please give a like, hit the like button. Also subscribe. Also check out our podcast.
Mhm.
Episode 2 should be out already, so check that out. And if you
Mhm.
missed our first episode, go check that out. Once again, all of our links for our social media and everything is gonna be at this right down there in the description. And
Mhm.
from me and Alex,
Also,
go ahead.
real quick, if you do get a chance, go watch the movie yourself, and if you want to tell us what you thought, go to any of our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. Tell us what you thought. If you wanted to bring up a point that we were talking about, throw it down there and give us your 2 cents. But
Yep.
either way, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.
Yep. Signing off. We'll see you guys on the next one. All right.